We have 4 teachers assigned to the Grade 8 Academy. We have a social studies English specialist. We have a science specialist, and I'm the math specialist. And we have a built-in learning resource teacher.
And we work together with all the kids to create interdisciplinary, inquiry-based learning. We do a lot of collaboration. Everything that we do works to create a sense of community for the kids.
It started with our student services team looking at the success of our Aboriginal students. And we took our failure lists one day and we highlighted all of the students who were failing. And when we cross-referenced those, we noticed that it was a lot of our Aboriginal students. And a lot of grade 8s and 9s. In grade 10, 11, 12, you weren't seeing a lot of highlights. And it wasn't because we had fixed the problem, it was because the students were no longer here. So we noticed that we had a problem with losing students, predominantly Aboriginal students in grade 8 and 9, and we knew we had to do something about it.
I approached the principal at the time and I said, what if we just try something totally crazy? And so the conversation happened with a core group of staff, and we kind of evolved into where the program's at today with all of our English students participating in an integrated model with all their course subject areas.
It is a constantly evolving thing. It depends on many factors, the students that we have, where they're at, as well as whether or not we think that it worked well last year. So it's a highly reflective program.
Because we get to spend so much time with them, 3 blocks out of the 4 that they have, they're comfortable with their peers. They have a relationship with us, and they're just more willing to take risks and be available, and they're motivated to do the work.
You're somewhere where you're comfortable. You're not with a whole bunch of different teachers every day. It's the same 3 teachers, you're comfortable around them.
One of the biggest hurdles we had was around timetabling, and we basically just had to say, forget it. We know it's going to cause all kinds of problems, but we're just committed to doing what's best for kids despite all of the issues it causes with timetables and student management systems.
Then in second semester, they reverse. They see us in the academy for 1 block and then 3 other teachers. So we're hoping that by second semester, they're a little more used to the high school model.
I like how the teachers were super nice and they're very accepting, and same with like everybody in the program, just like one big family.
And when you walk into the room and you feel the energy and you watch the teachers working together and feeding off of one another and interacting with the students, you can see that that approach is just very different from what might be going on in a very traditional classroom.
What makes the Academy unique is that it allows for true collaboration because the collaboration time is actually planned into our schedule.
We always look at the new curriculum when we're designing the major project, and because it's so much wider and we have so much more freedom in terms of the content that we're covering, it allows us to just have a bit more fun with it.
A lot of the times, the big ideas are what help create our vision. And then we put those together with our core competencies and say, how can we work on these? And which ones have we focused on so far? And which ones do we need to continue to work on? Which ones are the kids really struggling with? And that gives us a lot of direction. The other part too is it has to have a flow. So right at the beginning of the year, we really try to get the kids to envision the journey that we're on. And again, this year our journey was, how does the past influence the future or the present, so that they see the value and the relevance and that it's authentic and there's a purpose to it.
So for example, when we did a unit on pathogens, we spent time doing science and math and English rotations that kind of brought together the science of cells and this exponential growth in math, and then looked at a specific time in history for the English and humanities portion. Then we introduced the project as a whole.
We did the 2 viruses. How fast would they infect? The possible cures, how deadly they are compared to each other, which I found actually really fun because I'm into science and stuff.
We did a social project to get us ready for the independent project. It's about the First Nations and First Contact.
Part of what we really wanted to do with them was focus on their creative thinking and their critical thinking.
So we took the perspective of either a First Nations individual or a European explorer, and students had to take that perspective and write what it would be like in that setting. And they had to contextualize that with some real facts. So it was a kind of a challenging project for them.
A lot of our projects are based on presentations.
Just the excitement of being able to tell people information and teach other people about that subject.
I'm not embarrassed to go in front of people anymore. I'm not shy. I just breathe and just take my time.
they're asking you these questions to either gain knowledge or see where you are at in learning.
The fact that I also get to see other teachers teach every single day has in turn made me a better teacher.
The academy is really different because I would be at this school, they call it embedded. So I'm in the classroom with the kids, with the teachers, helping design the lessons in a way so that the students with special needs didn't feel stigmatized or pointed out in any way. And then I was actually in the classroom helping those lessons be delivered so I could actually see how it was working. And the students also saw me as a teacher, as part of the team, as opposed to this strange person that was only there sometimes.
We knew that we were doing something that was good for kids. We knew that it was new, it would be a challenge, and that change is difficult, but we persevered, and we continue to make changes and to tweak the program to meet the needs of the kids who are in the program.
That's why our Aboriginal success rate at this school is one of the highest in BC, which is great, and a lot of those kids come through the academy.
I think that in some ways, and that's why our program I think is quite effective, is because we still provide some of the structure that the students need at this age group with some of the traditional rotations. So the students that respond well to that, they are engaged in that portion of it. We then have a piece that allows more freedom for exploration, which is an opportunity to teach more accountability and hopefully develop them as self-motivated learners.
Well, it became evident right at the beginning that this model allowed for student success. We were holding on to students. We noticed that attendance was much better. The thing that we noticed the most, though, was that we were getting to know our grade 8s really well. And they had a lot of adults who cared about them, worked closely with them, and I think that's been the key thing to make the difference.
All the teachers, they care. They actually care and they help you deal with stuff if you need help.
The impact of the Junior Academy has been like throwing a pebble into a pond and seeing the ripples. So students in the Grade 8 Academy are learning about their learning. They know about good assessment practices. And then when they go on, so we're now in our 4th year, so we have students who are in grade 11, they ask some really good questions of their teachers. So they're applying some pressures from within around assessment practices, project-based, inquiry-based learning. And they're very informed about their own styles of learning, so they're good self-advocates in their other classes as well.
I find that I work better individually, and I'm also a really shy person. Like in grade 8, I was pretty shy and timid, and I wasn't super outgoing. It shaped me into the student I am today, so to speak.
I found myself becoming more confident. I grew more relationships with more people, and my roots grew stronger in the school, and it made me comfortable.
We are looking forward to having our first graduating class next year, and we know that when we look back at who are those students who we had in grade 8 and grade 9, they're still here. And they're going to walk across the stage with pride and with purpose and with a plan.